विबोधितां भगवतां नारायणेन स्वयं व्यासेन ग्रथिता पुराणं मध्ये महाभारतम् अद्वैतामृतवर्षिणी भगवती अष्टादशाध्यायिनी अम्ब त्वामनुसन्ततामि भगवद्गीते भवद्वेषिणी.
Verse 1.
Yeah.
The tree of samsara. Sri Bhagavan Uvacha Urdhva Moolamada-shakam Ashvattam Prahuravyayam Chandamsi Yasya Parnani Yastam Veda Sa Vedavit.
Very famous thing. Whenever a lot of people chant this regularly, this chapter. So, Urdhva Moolam Madashakam is a very famous. So, imagery, the whole life is the imagery of an Ashwatha tree. Ashwatha tree is supposed to be, every part of it signifies something. So, that is why they picked up Ashwatha tree. Yeah.
Sri Bhagavan Uvacha said, Ashwattham, the Ashwatha tree, Urdhva Moolam, whose roots are above, Adaha Sakam, whose branches are below, Avyayam, imperishable, Prahu, they say, Yasya, whose, Parnani Kandamsi, Chandamsi, leaves are the Vedas, Tam, that, Yah Veda, the one who knows, Saha, he, Vedavit, is a knower of the Veda. The Ashwatha tree is Arasamaram?
In English they call it religious Paikosa. Religious Paikosa.
But it is Arasamaram.
Arasamaram. Different varieties are there. This is one of them.
Swamiji, this Urdhva Moola Madhav Shaka is coming in Rudram, Atatmanam Shivatmanam Sri Rudra Rupam Dhyayet, in that Shuddha Spatikasam. In that it will come Urdhva Moolam Avakchakam Vishwamve Vishwarupinam Evam Dhyatva Judaswamyam Tato Yachanamara Bhet, like it will end in that.
Yeah. Actually it is a Tato Yachanamara Bhet, meaning before starting the yajna, they will chant this mantra. It's a sort of a prayer. Before we start the yajna.
Lagunyasaha for Rudram, right?
Lagunyasa. A smaller version of Rudram. If you cannot chant full Rudram, we can do this Lagunyasa and this is for that day, sort of. Suppose you are not able to do full, you can do this. That's why it's called Lagunyasa. Lagu meaning easy. Easy, yeah.
Good news. Okay.
Sri Bhagavan said, they say the imperishable Ashwatha tree has its roots above, its branches below, and the Vedas are its leaves. The one who knows that is the knower of the Veda. The vision is presented through the imagery of a sacred ficus tree. Ficus tree. The Ashwatha that is likened to samsara. Ashwatha literally means that which will not be there tomorrow. That which will not stay tomorrow is called Ashwatha.
न स्वः अपि तथा इति अश्वत्थ. Shankara Bhashya.
Yeah. Na swaha api tata meaning stable. Tata means sta dhatu is stable. So that which is na swaha api tata meaning that which is not stable. Not stable, so it's called Ashwatha. But it is supposed to be very stable compared to among other trees for a long time. But still it is going all the way. That is why it is. It looks stable, but it's not. That is how it is.
It is changing all the time and it perpetuates itself through its own bija, seed and adventitious roots called Ficus religiosa. Yeah, it belongs to the same group as the banyan tree.
Yeah.
Like the Ashwatha tree, the samsara is also such that it will not be in the same form tomorrow. It is constantly changing relative to the root, the basis, Adhisthana, which is Brahman, which never undergoes any change. Though samsara is ashwata, that is, it will not be there tomorrow, it is also avyaya. It keeps changing but does not die away. In other words, the names and forms go on changing, but even when everything is dissolved, it remains in an unmanifest form, returning and again dissolving every cycle. Thus, it has no beginning, only manifestation and unmanifestation. This manifestation and unmanifestation is like our daily dissolution into sleep and waking up. However, the samsara can end with reference to an individual once the ignorance of the root is removed. Otherwise, it is avyaya, imperishable. Samsara is likened to a tree for a number of reasons. Even though we do not generally see the roots of a tree, we appreciate that it is standing because of its roots. We have the cognition it exists. That is asti iti buddhihi asti. Similarly, the root of samsara is beyond our comprehension in that we do not see it, but we infer its existence because of the observation of samsara. That is, we see only the effect, karya, not the cause, karana, and infer the existence of the cause from the presence of the effect. This is true for the karma, karana, karya sambandha, cause effect relationship of everything within the samsara. If the cause is other than myself, it is possible to see the cause in the effect. But if it is myself, how am I to see it? I must be able to see myself in order to appreciate the cause, since it is nothing but me. But knowing this, I will see only
Not knowing this.
not knowing this, I will see only the creation, which is within the time-space framework. Its cause not being known to me is lost within myself, beyond time and space. As a tree has roots which are not seen, so does the world, whose roots are hidden in the seer.
So that is why, see, for every effect there is a cause. Like we know, if we are there, there must have been a grandfather and grandmother. Even if they have not seen them, we know very well. Just because we are here, we know definitely there was a grandfather and grandmother. So like that, so roots are always known, causes are always known because the effect is seen. But in case of life, the changing life as a samsara, the reality is it has its roots in the being which is not available for objectification, timeless, spaceless, and all that. So that is why we, for want of not knowing, no way to know the cause, we take whatever that is there in front of us. Like, okay, my body, mind, senses is born out of my father and all, so they are the cause. And like that, they are the cause. And my own, why I am different from the other person, because there must have been a karma. So, all within samsara only we attribute a cause. We never understand the cause is the changeless being, because that is not objectified, that is not seen, that cannot be discovered as the cause. So we take it for ourselves what is available as a cause rather than the reality. That's what he is trying to say. It's not being known to me is lost within myself, beyond time and space. We take it as otherwise. That is where the mistake starts and it perpetuates. And also, Urdhva Moolam here says, generally the roots are always at the bottom, the earth. When you dig it, you can see it. But as here it says, Urdhva Moolam, means Akasha. Why? Because like if the roots are in Akasha, we cannot see it. The same way, our own, we being the effect, the cause is being changeless, timeless, and all that, we cannot see it. That is why it's called Urdhva Moolam Adhasakam. Unlike normally a tree will have roots at the bottom, where you can dig it and see it. Whereas in this particular tree, when the imagery, they say Urdhva Moolam because it is not visible. So that is how it is. Why? How can the trees can be above? Meaning it is not visible. That is the only meaning of saying Urdhva Moolam. Not visible because it is changeless, abhyayam, changeless being, reality is not visible, not objectifiable. Because of that reason only, we take something else as our root and we fall within the samsara. We look for the root within the samsara. we don't understand our roots, our cause, is the origin, is the changeless being. If we understand that, then we will rather hold on to it than worried about the changing body, mind, senses all the time. So that's what is signified by saying the Urdhva Moolam. That we will explain further.
Swamiji, can you clear that doubt? Why it's shown as inverted? I mean, roots at the top.
Yeah, just see. Just see. Next para is explaining.
Oh.
Next para is explaining. Yeah.
Okay. Its roots are above and branches are below. Shankara says, Urdhva Moolam, footnote, Urdhva Moolam, Kalataha, Sukshmatvat, Karanatvat, Nityatvat, Mahatvat, Cha Urdhvam, Uchyate, Brahma Avyakta Maya Shaktim, Tat Moolam Asya Iti, Saha, Ayam Samsara Vriksha Urdhva Moolaha. Shankara Bhashyam. Brahman, which has the Maya Shakti, is the Moola, the root which is said to be above, because it is subtler than time, the final cause of everything, eternal and limitless.
Yeah, basically the idea is it's all from the being, and the being cannot be seen. Timeless, spaceless, which we have been discussing all the time. Timeless, spaceless,
Objectless.
not an object, so it's a being. So it is not available for objectification. So that is what is signified by saying that Urdhva Moolam. Urdhva meaning not visible. That's what it means.
Okay.
It is not that you cannot see the tree as a root above. Generally, roots will have to be below. But in this particular case, the imagery is that for a samsara, where you are not able to see the roots because the root cause is, the origin is the being. Your reality is the root cause. And by, even though the changeless, timeless, objectless being is the reality, but it appears as changing. How a changeless can appear as changing? Through Maya. Maya means just an appearance. Just an appearance, like a screen. We see movie and all that, nothing is there. We go and touch it, there is nothing there, but it appears. The same way our life also is that. And since we take it as real, it is called samsara. Samsara is not the problem. Samsarikvam is the problem. Samsara means it is there. Jagat is there. It is continuously moving, changing all the time. It's available for translation. Nothing wrong in that. But if you take it as Shashvatam, or if you take it as your reality, then you will have a problem because it's not your reality. You cannot be satisfied with that. Your reality being the changeless. If you take it otherwise, come what may, whatever you achieve, you will never be satisfied. Because the changing only, achievement and non-achievement is in the changing. And it will keep happening, changing, all the time changing. So there is nothing Shashvata about it. That is why Shashvata, Ashvata tree, even though appears Shashvatam, it is changing. By the minute it is changing. Every leaf is changing. That is why Swamiji will give an example. If you take an Ashwatha tree leaf, in your book you keep in between the pages, after a week or so, you see only the narambu dhaan theriyum. Baakiyella poidum. So that is Ashashvata of the tree. Okay? The same way our life also is. But since the changes are so infinitesimally small, you are not able to see the change. Like, the earth looks flat, but actually there is an infinitesimally small curvature. Everywhere there is a curvature, but you are not able to see, so you think it is flat. That's how we all started, earth is flat. Then somebody has to come and he had to give his neck to say that the earth is round. Yeah.
Shankara says that time is not perceptible as an object, but is appreciated purely by the mind. But here we are dealing with something that is even subtler than the mind, the very basis or cause, karana, of the mind and everything within time and space, in the sense that it precedes the creation as its cause, it is above Urdhva. Further, it is eternal, Nitya. As long as the root survives, the tree, even though felled, will regenerate. In Kolkata, there is a tree of this sort which spreads for thousands of square feet. If in one spot, there is a sign denoting the place where the original trunk once was. Even though it is gone, the tree remains because of the thousands of adventitious roots. The tree is a mere karya, effect that continues to exist as long as its cause karana, root, remains. Similarly, the tree of samsara is a non-eternal effect rising out of its cause, which relative to it is eternal, nitya. From the root it can come again. While the entire creation is anitya, its root is nitya. It is also urdhva because it is limitless. Mahatvat urdhva. Brahman with Maya Shakti, the cause of this entire world, is the root of the tree of samsara. While its root is above, its branches are below, adha.
Adaha means
Adha.
below. Yeah.
Adha. All the physical and subtle elements are the branches, shakas, and they are below Adaha because they are within time and space. The Vedas are its foliage. The foliage of a tree is an important protective covering and source of vitality. If you keep on clipping the leaves, the tree will die. Similarly, the tree of samsara has the Vedas, Chandamsi, as leaves to protect and sustain the jivas and perpetuate samsara. The Vedas spoken of here are Rik, Yajus, and Sama. Like the leaves, they protect and sustain the jivas and perpetuate samsara because they provide knowledge of the means and ends connected with rituals. Vedanta is omitted here because to sustain samsara, you need only karmas. Vedanta will destroy it. Even those who have no knowledge of the Vedas perform actions and thus perpetuate samsara. That being so, why are the Vedas considered the leaves? They contain knowledge of the most auspicious karmas and therefore they protect samsara. When even the sacred Vedas only protect samsara, what can we say about worldly karmas? The Vedas represent all means and ends. They do not release you from samsara, but rather protect and perpetuate samsara like the leaves of the tree. How? Through the knowledge of means and ends. The jiva uses or fails to use the various means prescribed to achieve his ends and thus gathers punya and papa. Because of these punya and papa, he takes another birth and samsara continues for him. In a larger sense, the punya and papa of the jiva cause his world to manifest and thus punya and papa rooted in the Vedas form the basis of creation. As the leaves keep the tree alive, karmas keep the tree of samsara going. A tree, however, can be felled and so can samsara. The tree of samsara is born of ignorance, ajnana. In order to remove it, I must know that the root is myself and the tree, the effect, is also myself. Then there will no longer be identification with a single physical body and so on. First, the tree must be felled. To do this, I give up the I sense, Atma Buddhi, in what is not I, Anatma. Then the root must be removed exactly as in cutting a tree. First you fell it with a saw, then dig up the root. Shruti also uses this illustration. In the Kathopanishad, samsara is described as a tree with its roots above in Brahman and branches below within the time-space framework. 2.3.1. It has no
it is the same.
beginning.
Actually, the Urdhva Moolam and Adhastakam will come same way like in Kathopanishad. There also it is saying only that it will explain it a bit more. That's all.
Swami, in Vishnu Puranam, Swamiji, they say actually as per Adisesha is below, on top of it is the world, and on the world on which we are living, Adisesha is below, but from Perumal perspective, Adisesha is above. So our attitudes, our ahangaram, everything denotes that Adisesha is below. Tomorrow when a person becomes a jnani and becomes, completely aware of the knowledge, a awareful being, the Adisesha will automatically come to his top. That sounds that he is, that they say, Same logic applies here, Swamiji.
Vishnu Puranam, I have not gone through this particular section what you have talked about. But it may be there. Maybe it's a imagery. All these are only imagery. Here the tree imagery is that of Ashwatha tree. There maybe it is Adisesha. It's possible. Yeah.
In his where am I? Shruti has Kathopanishad and branches below. It is anadi because it is cyclical. Even if it becomes unmanifest at the time of dissolution, like a tree in a seed, it manifests once again. In his commentary on this verse,
what is this root they are mentioning, Swamiji? Little that root. What is that root actually? There?
Root means
of a
cause.
tree.
The root means cause. Without the root cause, we say no root cause. Without the cause, effect cannot be there. But we are able to see only the effect. The tree itself, we are able to see only the effect. But we know very well, when the tree is there is a root. Okay, that is true for anything. Where there is the root and the tree imagery is basically to say cause and effect. So the very fact we are dealing with a transactional world, that there is a cause. This is an effect, so that must be a cause. Only thing is that here, in case of a tree, you can dig and find the root. We know very well, without seeing the root, we know that there is a root. Whereas, in case of our own life, if we cannot dig and find out the root. That is why it says Urdhva Moolam. It is there. It is unseen. Unseen. It's called unseen. Urdhva Moolam is unseen. It is not below, it is unseen. But nevertheless, there is a root. Like even a tree, samsara or our life also is called root cause. And the root cause is what? Actually, the root cause is our reality. But if we don't, since we are not able to see, we don't understand, we are ignorant about it, we say that our own, why? Because we have our cause is our papa and punya. Because of that, there is a karma. We say that there is a karma. That means we assume a origin with it other than which is akarta, meaning changeless. Whereas we assume that there is a karta, so karma, punya, papa, because of that I am born. And we do further, because we assume it that way, whatever you do, create further papa and punya, further birth is there. The cycle continues. So this can be felt, this samsara chakra can be felt only when we understand the shift the basis from to our karma and karta to akarta and abhyaya. That is changeless being, like timeless, spaceless, changeless being, not a previous birth or previous punya papa is not our roots. Our roots are really abhyaya. And once we understand, by understanding that ignorance is felt, then there is no more samsara. That is the what do you call? That is the teaching. That is how the culmination of the teaching is to understand that our roots are not our karma and punya papa. That is because temporarily we accept that because we don't know or we have not understood the reality. Once we understand the reality is the changeless being, then what is how come the changeless being came into this changeful samsara and all that? By Maya. How can the changeless become changeful? It's not possible. It is possible only as Maya, only as ignorance. In an individual, it is called ignorance. In the samashti, it is called Maya. Then people will ask, why Maya? Why? What is the reason for Maya? And we cannot ask that question because we are asking from the effect. We are in the effect and we are asking. When we go to the origin, it is not there automatically. When you go and see in the origin, there is no time, no space. The question of why, when and all will not come. Once we understand that. Till then, since we are asking from the time-limited, space-limited world, we are asking how it has happened and all. We cannot ask that, basically. When you understand that you are the timeless, spaceless being, you will not ask that question. You will understand that that is my vibhuti, or this is how I am, this is how it is available for transaction. So you will one up the whole thing. That is why it's called Sarvatma Bhava. Once you understand that, why, when and all will not come because you are timeless and spaceless. And you are objectless. Why this is so means there is nothing this. There is only aham. This is only a perception. All that is we have seen before. Now they are concluding it. The whole Tatparyam of 15th chapter is to assume, explain that aham sarvatma. You are the sarvatma. That is what will be. As we further go, we will explain that. Yeah.
Actually, in Saundarya Prashant, if you remember, we read that Swamiji சொல்கிறார் வந்து துவைத்தமாக சொல்கிறார் அதில் வந்து அம்பாள் she wants to play லீலை She wants to play with her children, so she's creating Maya Shakti and Maya Shakti is
Yeah,
Amba.
that is generally that is how it is explained. Aham
La,
iti
he has read
vibhavaye.
that.
Aham iti vibhavaye. That is Sarvatma Bhava. But
Okay.
see, for the purpose of the fact is, the sense, whether we appreciate, till the time we appreciate, we have to appreciate all that is being transacted is, everything is Shakti Swarupa or Devata and Deva. Devasya Deva. Devasya Deva is there. No? Devasya Deva is Ishvara. That every Deva is, every element is a Deva. So all that is available for transaction, there is a logical connection, there is a there is a cause and effect within samsara. Within samsara there is cause and effect. That's all very logically connected, and it's available for transaction, available for our life. So when it comes to that, that is where you have to look at it as Ishvara and Devata. So that way it is easier to comprehend. Once by appreciating the Ishvara and Devata and doing what we need to do, once we get the Chitta Samadhanam, once we inquire more and more, we understand the original cause to be Abhyayam, as our reality is Desa Kala Vastu Aparichinnam. Once you start claiming it, then you have to say all this as my Vibhuti. Aham iti vibhave, like Lalitambika tells, we can also tell. That's what Bhagavan says, Ajo Pisanna, Avyayatma Pisanna, Bhutanam Vishwaro Pisanna, Prakritim Swam Adhishtaya, Sambhavami Atma Maya. You can also say the same thing. Sambhavami Atma Maya. This word is around this, my Maya.
Maya.
Yeah. You have to, then everything is settled properly. Yeah.
It has no beginning. It is in his commentary on this verse, Shankara cites the use of this imagery in the Mahabharata. Footnote: Mahabharata Ashwamedha Parva 14.35.20 to 22.
Yeah.
There it says that it is produced from the unmanifest abiding in Brahman, because of whose grace alone it has risen up. Like a tree is born from its root and is sustained by it, this tree of samsara not only arises but is also sustained by Ishvara, without whom it has no existence. Its trunk is the intellect, buddhi, and its apertures are the physical aspects of the sense organs. The branches are the 5 elements, and the various sense objects are the leaves. Dharma and adharma, meaning punya and papa, are its flowers, which give rise to fruits in the form of pleasure and suffering, sukha and dukkha. As the birds live in the tree, the jiva depends entirely upon this tree of samsara.
So the whole imagery has been explained.
Its original root is Brahman, and so is its expression. It is not separate from Brahman. Not only is one tree Brahman, there is a whole forest of trees which is Brahman, and the one who roams in the forest of Brahman is also Brahman. But he does not know it. Therefore, the tree of samsara is to be destroyed by the sword of knowledge. Then one gains the state of reveling in oneself, and from that he does not return.
So this also comes now in that Rudram, not Rudram, in Taittiriya, Aham Vrikshasya Reri, it's a famous prayer. For a person to understand this Vedanta, before that he is supposed to say a prayer in the Taittiriya Upanishad, Shikshavali it comes. Before starting the Anandavali, which is the Vedanta's Tatparyam, there the student is making the prayer. Aham Vrikshasya Reriva, Kirti Vriksham Giririva, like that. There, Aham Vrikshasya Reriva, meaning the Vriksham is this. For removing the samsara Vriksham, you don't have to there. Reriva meaning actually one meaning is cutting. The other meaning is understanding. Prerayita iva. There, once you understand, then there is no need to cut. Even when the tree is there, still, for example, once you understand, even when this world is around, you are dealing with the world, you will still be able to understand it properly and without getting into Sukha, Dukkha, Anubhava and all. Samsaritvam will go, but samsara can still remain. That is the beauty of understanding. So that is why Reriva is explained as understanding, not cutting. Really, you don't have to cut samsara and or you have to run away and all that. Not necessary. You can still be transacting as long as you understand it properly. That is why Reriva meaning Prerayita Iva. Prerayita Iva meaning understanding, proper understanding of life. That is what it is. there also it will come like that. Yeah.
In Surya
There also he
Namaskar,
says,
in
here
Surya
also he
Namaskar,
says,
go ahead. Sorry, Swamiji, go ahead, sorry.
yeah, yeah.
No, you were saying something, sorry.
Yeah, here he is telling the same thing. The not only is, but
The sword of
therefore the
knowledge.
samsara is to be destroyed by the sword of knowledge.
knowledge.
Cutting the samsara by understanding. Sword of knowledge means what? By understanding, by removal of ignorance, you will be able to. You will not be a samsari. Samsara will continue.
Yeah.
But samsaritam will not be there. You will not identify. That is the thing. That is the beauty of the whole teaching.
All three principal sources of Brahma Jnana use this illustration. In the Shruti, we see it in Kathopadishad. In the Smriti, here in the Gita. And Shankara has quoted the Itihasa Purana, Mahabharata, where it appears. Mahabharata is an epic Itihasa, but can also be called a Purana. A Purana, however, is never called an Itihasa. The one who knows this tree is a knower of the Veda. Yaha tam Veda saha Vedavit, says the Lord. The main thing the Veda wants to convey is Brahman, the substratum of samsara, is you. The Brahman, the substratum of samsara, is you. The one who knows this tree, along with its root Brahman, knows that everything, the entire samsara, is mithya and the root is satya. He is the Vedavit, the one who knows the ultimate truth that the Vedas convey. This is the opening statement, pratigya, of the chapter. By knowing this tree of samsara, along with its root, everything is known. The rest of the chapter is to establish this and is therefore an elaboration of the original statement. Other limbs of the tree of samsara are explained now in order that we may understand what it is and how, by knowing it, one becomes the knower of the Veda. Continue. Prasad, continue. Verse 2.
Verse 2, the branches of this tree of samsara. Ataschordvam Adaschodvam Prasritastasya
Tasya Shakaha.
Shakaha Guna Pravritta Vishaya Pravalaha.
You have to tell in the other meter, the longer meter. You have to tell it in the longer meter. Atascha urdhvam pradustasya sakaha guna pravritta vishaya pravalaha adascha moola
Yanusantagani
yanusantatani manushya like that. Tell that again.
Adaschodvam Vistastasya sakaha Gunapravritta Vishaya Pravalaha Atas Moolan Yanushantantani Karmani Manushaloke. Tasya, its sakaha, the branches, guna pravriddhaha, that are nourished by the gunas, vishaya pravalaha, with sense of objects as their shoots, other urdhvam cha, below and above, prashrutaha are spread out, adaha, adacha, and adaha cha, and below, manushaloke, in the words of mortals, Mulani, the roots, karma anubandhini are karmas that bind. Anushantatani are diffused, spread out everywhere. Its branches that are nourished by the gunas with sense objects as their shoots are spread out below and above. And below the diffused roots are the karmas that bind one in the world of mortals. What are the branches of this tree of samsara? Some are extended, prashritaha, downward, adaha, where some of them go up urdhvam, above are all the celestial beings. This means even Indra, Brihaspati, Prajapati and all other devas up to Brahma, Brahmaji are within samsara. In the Taittiriya Upanishad, they are contrasted with the wise person who is not destroyed by desire and is therefore free from samsara. Some of the branches, on the other hand, grow down.
Footnote. Taittiriya Upanishad.
5. Taittiriya Upanishad 2.8.1 to 4. Maya's the material cause that
No,
is
no, no.
under.
Maya 6 footnote.
That is another.
Yeah,
This
another
one
one.
he has just put quotation, but he has not explained. See what it is that once the Anandamaya, that is, there is something called
Anandamaya kosha.
like यस्माद् एतस्माद् आत्मनः आकाशः सम्बुद्धः आकाशाद् वायुः वायोरग्निः अग्न्योरापः आपः पृथिवी पृथिव्योर ओषधयः ओषधिभ्यो अन्नम् अन्नात् पुरुषः. Then when it comes to Purusha, then they will say it is Purusha is first body, Annamaya. Second, another next level is Manomaya, then Pranamaya, then Vijnanamaya. A person who is under Vijnanamaya, meaning in the terms of Shastra, like he knows all the Shastras, Karma Kanda, Vaidika, very scholarly Vaidika. So that's called Vijnanamaya. Then because of all his righteous living and all karmas properly done, he gets Anandamaya. Anandamaya meaning he has got a proper, like he's got a peaceful mind and he is very pious, dharmic and all that. Anandamaya. Then what happens is a person who is Anandamaya can have, like there is Anandamaya can be Vishayananda and Vidyananda. There can be Vishayananda. Maybe somebody is good at sports, somebody good at office, somebody is good at scientist and all that. Talk in worldly terms. In Shastric terms, they will say like a person who has done enough punya will be equivalent to Deva Gandharva. Another person will become Pitru Gandharva. Like various names they have got. And everyone, by doing all these karmas and vidhis properly, each one graded sukha, graded anandamaya they will get. But 100 times Deva Gandharva will have Gandharvananda, 100 times Gandharvananda will have Pragaspadir Ananda, 100 times Pragaspadir Ananda will have Indrananda. Like that, they will keep on gradifying so that to say that, and the idea is to tell, and every time they will. And every time they will say, the Shastra, the Taittiriya Upanishad, this particular thing, this particular 2.81 to 4 will say, and Srotriyasya akamaha tasya. A person who understands the Atma Jnanam, his Anandam is beyond, is comparable to even Indra Ananda. So finally what it says is, that is what he is telling here. So the person who is in the Taittiriya Upanishad, they are contrasted with the wise person who is not destroyed by desire and is therefore free from samsara. Free from samsara is called Srotriyasya akamahatasya. In the sense, he is not destroyed by desire. Akamahatasya means, kamahatam means generally some desire or something falls. Everyone falls into some desire or something. Maybe somebody will fall in this desire, somebody will fall in that desire, some worldly desire, heavenly desire. Some people will give their life to go to Swarga. Some, even though he is pious and dharmic and all that, he all the time doing rituals, all the time looking for punya. Even though he will do philanthropy, he will do looking for punya only. Not for the sake of that the other person is getting benefited. No. He is looking for his punya, he is counting his punya. What they be counting the blessings, children, yeah. The same thing. We keep doing that. So, only the grade is, the desire is different. That's all. But, here is the wise person who has understood the reality. He is not felt by any desire. So, Srotriyasya means who is well versed in Shruti. Shruti means Shastra. The person who has understood Shastra thoroughly is not felt by any kama, any desire. Akamaha tasya. So, it will describe, the Upanishad will describe in very great detail what is the amount of punya and what is the amount of anandam all these people up to Indra, up to Pragaspati they are getting. And finally say, the person sitting under the tree who is understood reality, he is having better ananda than any of those, including Pragaspati ananda. So it's a prasamsa to highlight the understanding of this knowledge. Once you understand Atma Jnanam, even though you are just sitting under a tree with a loin cloth, still your ananda is better than Indrananda. That is what they want to highlight that. That is what is this section called Taittiriya Upanishad 2.8.1. Anandam is described. There Anandam is different from Anandamaya. Anandamaya meaning what you call saturated. Anandamayam saturated with Ananda. Saturated with Ananda, there will be a dukkha lesa, a streak of dukkha will be there. Whereas Anandam, if it is your reality, once you understand, that is much beyond even Anandamaya, any kind of Anandamaya, which is Indrananda, Vishayananda, Vidyananda, ellathukum aparpattadu. That is what it means, who is the wise person who is not destroyed by any desire and is therefore free from samsara. That is what is told here. Yeah. I am not able to hear your voice.
Muted.
Mute
Prashant.
kya?
Oh, I'm sorry. Some of the branches, on the other hand, grow down. These are the human beings, animals, and even stationary living beings like trees. All of them, those that extend up and down, are nourished by the three gunas, guna, pravriddha. The constituents of Maya with Brahman is their material cause.
இதுதான் இப்போ படிக்கணும் footnote.
Can someone read the footnote?
Maya is the material cause that has undergone change to become this entire Jagat, Parinami Upadana Karana. But Maya has no independent existence apart from Brahman. So, Brahman is the material cause that lends existence to Maya itself and the entire Jagat without itself undergoing any change. Therefore, Brahman is called the Vivarta Upadana Karana. This I read in the article, Vivarta Upadana Karana. Yes, actually, I went through it twice to understand it. That's why I said it takes time.
Vivarta Upadana Karana, see, we have been telling this.
Yeah.
Desa Kalam Aparichinnam, objectless being. How can an objectless being, which is Vivartam? Vivartam means there is nothing, there is no substance. But the world which we deal with is entirely so many substances, so many qualities, activities, events, everything is there. How it is possible? That is because of Maya. The Maya meaning Yama meaning what is not there. The being is Sa. Sa means what? It is there. How? That is what Swamiji will always say. Satchet na badeta, asatchet na pratiyeta. Meaning, satchet na badeta meaning it cannot undergo anything. But still, you are able to see. So you cannot even call it asat. Asat naka not there, but it is there. We are transacting with the world. So asat chet pratiyete. Pratiyete meaning you are able to see, perceive, and transact. But you can't call it sat also because sat is not undergo any change. So neither sat nor asat is called mithya. So you cannot say totally non-existent, and you cannot say it's totally existent. Shashvatam nu solla mudiyadhu. And it is not available for transaction. So that is why it's a typical word for Sat Asatbyam Anirvachaniyam, the Mithya. That Maya is nothing but Mithya. That reality is Sat Asatbyam Anirvachaniyam. That is what is being talked about here as Maya. And the basis is Vivarta Upadana Karana. So there is no what do you call reason for us to we can easily understand that the whole thing is changeless all the time, infinite varieties continuously changing all the time. It is possible only when the root cause is changeless. If it is a changing thing, it will have its own limitation. Like we always say, no, the vikam. Listen, an apple can grow only apple big. A mosquito can grow only mosquito big. In the same way, if there is a substance as a root cause, it can grow only that big. It cannot become infinite. We know, all of us know, even the scientists, everyone knows that it's infinite. That means what? Infinite, actually there is one more rule. The extremes are alike. Extremes are alike. Zero and infinity, Pujyam and infinity are alike. So, if we are not able to see infinity, but it is all from Atma, meaning Atma has to be Pujyam. From Pujyam, the objectless, only infinity is possible. So that is what we have to understand. That is the whole understanding. Whole Tatparyam is Yes, that is why the power of Maya only the tree of samsara has grown all these days. That's what he says. Yeah.
Because of the gunas, there are karmas, and because of the karmas, one acquires bodies. Whether they are above or below, they are all sustained by the gunas. On a branch, there are nodular buds from which new branches can begin. These are the pravalas. In the tree of samsara, the sense objects, vishayas, are the pravalas. Desiring these sense objects.
These gunas which we are talking about, no, we have extensively discussed this. The guna meaning sattva guna, raja guna, tamo guna is the maya upadhis, trigunas, trigunatmika maya. We have said that. So now once you accept maya as this thing cause with the gunas, then that can do parinama. Though the original cause is vivarta, substanceless, once you accept maya, then that can undergo parinama. Like we have seen that more of sattva is devata, less of sattva and mixed with rajas and gunas. Rajas and tamas is human being. More of rajas is animal. More of tamas is asuras or all the whatever. The sense, the combination, the permutation combination of variety of jantus is possible once you accept maya, the trigunatmika maya as the parinami upadharana karma. Parinami meaning it can undergo change. Whereas the original cause is vivartam, which is your reality and my reality, Ishvara's reality. So from there, once you accept that there is, because all of us are talking about this world and the whole discussion is assuming that you and me are separate. That is why we are teaching also. If you understand, all of us are one and the same being, Purna, there is no teaching required, neither Guru nor Shishya. But the very fact is we are discussing, we are dealing with the world, we have problems and all that, we assume that the world is parinami. So the parinami, the changing world, for you to validate that, yeah, upadana karanam, parinami upadana karanam is, the Shastra is explaining, that is called Maya. From that Maya part of it is only being explained. But the Vivarta Upadana Karanam, once we understand that, then that you are the Purushottama. That is why this thing is itself called Purushottama Yoga. You have to understand that. You have to grow out of this samsara. You have to see this and see the reality of it. The reality is only you. Everything in this is Maya, Parinami, Upadana Karanam, which is being explained in detail here.
On a branch, there are nodular buds from which new branches can begin. These are the pravalas. In the trees of samsara, the sense objects, vishayas and the pravalas. Desiring these sense objects, one will undertake new karmas because of which one will gain a new body. All the sense objects become nodular buds, vishaya pravalas, which are potential branches leading to the acquisition of new bodies. The taproot of this tree of samsara, as we have seen, is Brahman with the power of Maya. The secondary roots coming down from the branches, Adahacha Mulani, are the binding karmas, karma anubandini, in the world of mortals, Manushya Loke. All the accumulated favorable and unfavorable karmas waiting to manifest and the new karmas being done now form the secondary roots. These are the karma born of ragas, Veshas, yielding unseen results, Adrishtapalas, which was fructified. They are extended everywhere, Anusantatani.
Santatam. Santatam is, Santatam meaning pravaham, continuous, Santati, where life tree, family tree continues, with Santati.
They are extended everywhere, Anusantatani, and keep this tree of samsara alive. It looks as though the tree of samsara is deeply rooted, but fortunately it is like a dream. That is, it is mithya. Only the root Brahman is satya, everything else is mithya. Verse 3 and 4. Nature of the samsara tree and how it can be uprooted. Na rupa masyeha tato.
Second, longer bit.
Narupam asyeha tato palabhyate.
No, not like that. न रूपम् अस्येह ततोपलभ्यते नान्तो न चादिर्न प्रतिष्ठा अश्वत्थमेनं सुविरूढमूलम् असङ्गशस्त्रेण दृढेन चित्वा. Like that you read.
न रूपाम् अस्येह ततोपलभ्यते नान्तो न चादिर्न च सम्प्रतिष्ठा अश्वत्थं येनं सुविरुधामूलम् विरूढमूलम् असाङ्गशस्त्रेण धृतेन चित्वा.
கேட்கறதுக்கு நல்லா இருக்கும் சுவாமி சொல்லு.
इह तथा, as it is here, asya its rupam, asya its rupam form, na upalabhyate is not perceived. Asya na antaha, it has no end. Na cha adihi, and no beginning. Na cha sampratishtha, and no continuance. Suviruddha moolam, its root. Suviruddha moolam, its roots are Suviruddha.
இல்ல டாட்டா டாட்டா டா ட த இல்ல டிஏ டா டா
Da.
டா மடம் மடம்ல மட்டம் மட்டம் டா
Da. Suviruddha moolam.
ரூட மூலம்.
Its roots are well entrenched. Yenam ashwatam, this ashwatha tree, hridena firm. Asanga shastrena.
Shastra means weapon.
With the weapon of detachment, chitva, cutting.
We'll stop here.
Tata
Swamiji.
padam tat harimargitavyam.
Yeah, finish.
Yasana nivartanti bhuyaha tameva chatyam purusham prapadye yatah pravritti prasuta purani.
Yeah, we will stop here.
Stop.
Yeah, we'll come again on this. And actually, Swamiji's Gita chanting is there in the app. You have the app, no, Prashant? The app, there is one particular album which is Gita chanting with Vijay Swamiji. You can listen to this. Beautiful. You will sing
Okay.
nicely.
Okay, sir.
Om
ஓம் ஓம் பூர்ணமத பூர்ணமிதம் பூர்ணாத் பூர்ணமுதச்யதே
Purnasya
பூர்ணமாதாய பூர்ணமேவாவசிஷ்யதே. ஓம் சாந்தி சாந்தி சாந்தி. ஹரி ஓம். ஸ்ரீ குருभ्यो நமः. ஹரி ஓம்.